All right, hello everyone. This is my presentation on transcendentalism. So, what is it and when was it adapted? Well, it started taking place during the 1820s and the 1830s, around that time period. Most of the transcendentalists became involved as well in things such as social reform movements, anti slavery, women's rights, and all of that. So, its origination, one of the, well, what you can call it, fathers of transcendentalism was Ralph Waldo Emerson. I'll talk about him more in the presentation later on, but there's a quote by him. We will walk with our own feet, we will walk with our own hands, we will speak our own minds. A nation of men and women will exist because each believes divine soul. They did this because, well, transcendentalism really started occurring because they believed that a loving God would not have led so much of humanity astray. So when they say leading so much of humanity astray, they're saying slavery. They were wondering why God wasn't answering these prayers and everything. There's so much going on in the world at this time period. So that's when they started doing their own self soul searching things, doing things on their own accord. Okay, so connecting with your soul and nature is said to be one of the most beautiful concepts of transcendentalism. Um, they spoke for women's rights, freedom of slaves. They believed that organized religion, political parties, and things of that nature stunted individual growth. So basically, they believe people are better when they are more self reliant upon themselves. Um, so I guess you would ask the question why? It's because they believed every soul deserved to be free, and think for themselves and find their own inner self through nature and the natural experiences of life. So I found this cool picture online. I feel like it really spoke to the movement during that time. Nature and people finding one with themselves in, nature itself. So I thought this was pretty cool. So there were three main concepts that I'll go over for this. Um, the first one is individuality, the second one is connecting with nature, and the third one is relying on your own spiritual walk. So, to extend the first one, I believe is more so learning new ideas and skills um, through your walk of your soul searching and individuality and thinking for yourself, basically. And the second one, connection with nature. Basically, it was channeling your inner human, the most common form of transcendentalism, I'm sorry. So it was to take a moment to learn yourself. Like they'd ask questions like, "Who are you? Why do you think you're here? What do you believe in?" Um, they just wanted to chill and just be with your soul. And then the third one, relying on your own spiritual walk. Um, well, they did believe that there was a higher power, but the way that they put it, they would they would put it this way: God can be found in both nature and human nature. So human nature would be like society. Um, God is a spirit in all of us. We simply live our lives with it in us. So they're saying they're dependent upon themselves, but they know and understand that there's a higher power, there's a spirit that still dwells within us and carries us on through our day. But really, they it's something they understand, but they're still free thinkers. So I found a quote by Dr. Seuss. I believe he was heavily well, not Dr. Seuss himself, but this quote by Dr. Seuss, I feel like it was influenced from Emerson, one of the transcendentalists during that time. So it says, "You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose." So I feel like it still carries on to today's society. Thinking for yourself, people do believe that there's a higher power, but they still um, do their own thing, you know, channel their inner thoughts and interpret it into their everyday lives. So, so there was a transcendental club in the mid 19th century in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Enlighteners brought in ideas and thoughts in addition to transcendentalism. Okay. And I just wanted you to get a picture of them before I show you the next slide. Excuse me. On the left, we have Emerson, and on the right, we have Thoreau. Okay, so I just want to touch bases on the two figures of the transcendentalism movement. So Emerson was a poet. He was considered the front runner, the father, the high enlightener of the movement. He wrote a lot of books and essays that explain the concept of transcendentalism and why it was brought forth into society. And Thoreau, he accompanied Emerson. Emerson was like his mentor during that time, so he learned a lot from Emerson, and they shared the same beliefs and concepts with it. And this is one of their books, just essential essays from both of them. It includes the self-reliance and the civil disobedience. And these are my works cited pages. I have the American Transcendentalism and Major Tenets and a biography from both of my figures. Thank you guys for listening, and hope you all have a good day.